Hello, hello, hey, sweet people. Welcome to another episode of Inglês no Rádio. My name's Foster. Let's all take a deep breath. Alexia, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Excellent. I am in a good mood this morning because it has been raining for like 3 days nonstop. We are still in coronavirus lockdown.
Yeah.
Still in pandemic mode. It's getting really, really old, but that's just what we got to do.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think you do worse with the rain than I do.
Yes.
I think it's more about like being locked inside the apartment and it's raining.
Yeah.
And not about the lockdown itself.
Kind of my like safe space, or where I do a lot of my thinking and processing, is when I'm walking, especially walking with a buddy. Getting some fresh air feels really good, makes my body and mind feel a little bit more at peace. And when it's raining a lot, my walks with Buddy are just a disaster. Buddy hates it. I hate it. We come back. Buddy's muddy. He's running around the house. It's not fun.
No, it's not. And Buddy hates the rain. He hates it.
Yeah, Buddy's a diva.
Yeah. Okay, so today we are doing what? Because I'm here just making sure that I talk about my English mistakes.
Yes, so this week on the show, we are really taking a close look at Alexia's English, getting back to some of the basics, and
that's all because Sound School is open again. And then we decided, okay, let's make Alexia suffer one more time.
Yes, so just a quick explanation. Our pronunciation and conversation course, Sound School, is open this week. So from January 25th to January 30th, more or less, in 2021, you can sign up for Sound School. I believe we have 15 available spaces. And just to explain, Sound School is a pronunciation training program. So it's 20 weeks of pretty intense pronunciation training. So what you are listening to me and Alexia do when I am constantly correcting her mistakes and really making her focus on different sounds, that's what we do for 20 weeks in Sound School.
Yeah, I mean, most of you should be thinking like, okay, I'm already here. I'm already listening to what they have to talk about the pronunciation. Why should I take Sound School? And I say that it's completely different, because one thing is just listen to it, and the other thing is make you repeat all the words and study and take the challenges and etc. So it's a big difference when you start talking, right, and speaking than just listening.
Yeah, this quotation has been stuck in my head for like 2 weeks now. I believe I mentioned it to you. The quotation, hard choices, easy life, easy choices, hard life.
Yeah.
So an easy choice is just to listen to podcasts, watch series and Netflix in English. But when you speak with native speakers, it's still going to be very hard.
Yeah.
But if you make the hard decision to train pronunciation, to train your mouth to move in different ways, that is physically, mentally, emotionally very, very difficult.
It's just like a brain game.
Yeah. But if you do that, it makes your life much, much easier.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to be just fine. I mean, I've already conquered that with the TH sound, with the M, final M. I'm very good at that. But there's still things that I need to improve. But as Foster was telling me last episode, or I don't know which episode, I've improved a lot. And I'm very glad and happy because of that. And we want you to improve as well.
Yes, we
you,
do.
on the other side.
Okay.
Hi.
So, Alexia, speaking of your English improving over time, your English has evolved tremendously. But I think it's good to always take a step back and just to evaluate things so we can reassess. So can we do a little bit of navel gazing?
Yeah.
Do you understand that word?
Yeah.
That phrase? Navel gazing. Your navel is your belly button. So looking inward.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's imagine you can categorize language into more or less 4 different parts: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So in each of those categories, what would you give yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? So let's start with listening. 10 being you are really good at listening, you have 0 problems understanding native speakers, your listening is perfect, cannot improve anymore. 1 being you do not understand anything.
Listening, I would give a 9.
A 9.
Yeah, I am very good with my ears in any language, like French, Italian, Spanish, and English. I'm very good at it, and I should be very proud of it. I'm giving a 9 because Irish people, Scottish people, and sometimes Australian and New Zealanders.
Kiwis.
Yeah, Kiwis. There are few words there that I can't understand, but 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think most language students, most people that take language learning quite seriously, listening is something that people tend to be good at when you get really into it.
Yeah.
I also think at the same time, most people tend to overestimate their listening skills. So if you're imagining, do you understand 90% of what everyone says in English? I think with me, you do.
Yeah. United States in general, I do. British people as well. I'm very good at it. Don't take my 9 out of me.
No, I'm just saying, if you ask me the same question with Portuguese, what would I give my listening? I would probably say 9. But if I sat down and watched a movie in Portuguese and you asked me, like no subtitles, and you were constantly asking me, what did he say? What was every word? I would probably get like 80%.
It depends on the movie. It depends on the country that you're. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sticking with my 9.
Okay. We'll give Alexia a solid 8.5.
Come on. It's not that easy to understand Southern people, and I'm there.
Okay. So your listening is very, very good. What would you give your speaking in terms of 10 being total fluency? You speak better than a native. 1 being you're a complete beginner.
7.
7. Can you describe what that feels like for you?
I think it depends on the person and it depends on my mood as well.
Yeah, depends on the day.
Yeah. So I would give 7 in general because sometimes I'm pretty good at it, but other days I'm not. And it's very frustrating. But I think that people understand me.
Yeah, I would give you a very strong 7 at least. Let me ask you, what would it look like?
Give me only a 7? I think you would put me at 8.
What would it look like for you to give yourself an 8 or a 9 in speaking and pronunciation?
I think that not making the pronunciation mistakes that I'm making right now. So really, really understanding the difference with the schwa sounds and other ones that I have trouble with. So this would put me with 8 I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's only a jump to 9 and 10, but that's when it gets so difficult because you already know how to speak, right? Yeah. And then the last part of it, to become completely fluent, is, I think, is the hardest part.
Yeah, I think, really going for 10 out of 10 is kind of a ridiculous goal unless you are living in a country for a long, long time. But, Alexia, I think you illustrated a very important point, that to move from a 7 to an 8, what would you need to do? I think you would need to improve just a few pronunciation aspects about your pronunciation. So if you want to really change your English, like next level your English, for example, if you were listening, what would it take you to move from an 8 to a 9? I think it would take you like hours and hours, tens of thousands of hours of listening to stuff in English. But for your speaking, it literally just takes you a few weeks of practicing sounds in a very thoughtful and focused way.
Yeah, repeat.
Yes. And one more question I want to ask you about your English, Alexia. When you say your English could be an 8 or a 9 in terms of your speaking, do you have someone that you know, someone that is not a native English speaker, that you look up to and think, she's a 9 or his English is a 9?
Do you remember that guy that we met in Brasilia that was Doutor's friend?
Ricardo.
Yeah.
Yeah. His English was a 10, probably.
I mean, he's outstanding. He's studying. No, he was already. I don't remember. But he's
a diplomat.
Yeah. So for me, it's that.
Yeah.
For me, it's that.
Yeah.
Of course, that his situation is different because his dad was American, I think, or British. I don't remember exactly. But he's Brazilian. He was raised in Brazil. He didn't have the obligation to speak English at all.
Yeah. I think he spent a lot of time in the U.S., but you've been married to an American for 5 years. So it's essentially wherever...
I'm sorry?
You have been in a relationship with an American for 5 years. So essentially that is like living in the country.
But that's true. That's true. But I would say that if I were in the United States, like 6 months per year, my English would improve 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But that is no excuse. You can easily move your pronunciation, your speaking, your listening, any aspect of your English. You can move it from a 7 to an 8, from an 8 to a 9, wherever, whenever you want. It just takes a little bit of focus, practice.
Yes, that's right. And maybe find an American to get in a relationship with. It can be a friend. It could be a pen pal. It could be anyone like that.
Yeah, or just sign up for Sound School.
Yes, exactly.
And come have fun with us.
I think it's the easiest way.
Probably, given the current situation, I think hanging out with me and Alexia, training your pronunciation, it will be a good time. So, as always, sweet people, keep up the good fight.
And lose well. Bye.